think that this president has had a bigger direct impact on markets than the average president.
For sure.
And I think there's two reasons why. I think the first is I do think the tax policy that was passed last year, and I have a lot of issues with that tax policy, but I do think that led to a direct short-term windfall to the stock market.
Yep.
And I think that did boost the U.S. market last year. And I think the second thing is a combination of regulatory decisions that the executive branch does get to make. And basically, this regulatory environment is non-existent. Like, we're not going to fine any. If you look at like EPA fines, there's been like none since Donald Trump took over.
Right.
Which basically means go ahead, dump chemicals into Lake Michigan,
We're all
and
good.
we're not going to do anything about
Right.
it. And that does also lead to short-term economic boom.
Yep.
And then the last thing, and this is a scary thing, is these extremely aggressive trade decisions that the current administration has made based on what they're calling national security. So, like, based on the national security threat from Canada, we're charging tariffs on like metals
Dairy.
going over the border
Yeah.
to Canada. So the president has been pretty aggressive at calling, and some of them is like somewhat legitimate, like with China. Some of it is
IP.
stealing technology, and that is perhaps legitimate. But I think that a lot of the China slowdown is a direct result of these tariffs, which were a direct result of the executive administration.
Yep. You're right. Actually, you're right. Trump has had more of an impact than most others. You're right.
And I do think the reckoning of like, okay, we're going to let them dump chemicals into the ocean, and we're going to let them, we're going to cut their taxes. Like, that does have a short-term effect that's wearing off. At the same time, as the negative effects of the tariffs are starting to take their hold in China and Europe, and
That's hurting the economy.
that's why we feel like we got to get back to the toilet.
That's exactly right.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, that's right. That's Trump. That's a Trump philosophy. Here we go. 2020. Can't wait, huh?